Okay, so if you've been following the precious metals space or even just the multi-level marketing industry recently, you already know that 7K Metals has been making some massive headlines. Today we're diving into this explainer to unpack their rather controversial past, dig into some real customer reviews from the Better Business Bureau, and really break down their massive structural 2026 business pivot. It is a fascinating case study of what happens when massive macroeconomic forces collide head-on with a rigid business model.
So why did a huge precious metals company just completely abandon its entire business model? I mean, that's the exact question thousands of affiliates have been desperately asking themselves since March 2026. Almost overnight, 7K Metals transitioned from this complex multi-level marketing compensation plan straight into a direct retail and single-tier affiliate model. For a company that literally built its entire identity and its massive global distributor base on network marketing, this was an absolute earthquake. So what actually forced their hand?
Here's our roadmap for today. First, an intro to 7K Metals. Second, we'll look at the MLM controversy. Third, real customer experiences. Fourth, that 2026 affiliate pivot. And finally, our final verdict and next steps.
All right, part 1, intro to 7K Metals.
Let's rewind a bit. Founded back in 2016 in Idaho Falls by guys like Zach Davis and Josh Anderson, 7K Metals grew super fast. They went from this tight-knit coin-collecting community into a massive global platform. But by 2018, they were already drawing some intense scrutiny from industry watchdogs like Behind MLM, specifically regarding their compensation plan. And then we fast forward to March 2026, when the company just abruptly transitioned its entire distribution model, completely dropping the multi-level aspect that fueled all that initial growth.
Moving right along to part 2, the MLM controversy.
You see, the beating heart of their old business model was this Coin of the Month auto-ship program. To stay active in the compensation plan and actually earn commissions from your downline, you couldn't just sit back. Affiliates were required to maintain a monthly quota. This effectively meant you were spending a minimum of $98 on a graded silver coin every single month just to qualify to get paid. Now, here's the real kicker. There's a massive difference between buying standard bullion near the market spot price and paying top dollar for 7K specific products. 7K wasn't just sending you standard chunks of silver, right? They were sending highly graded laminated collectibles, specifically MS70 or PR70 graded coins. Because these coins have zero physical flaws and they come encased to protective slabs, they command a really high premium. But think about it. For an investor who just wants the raw weight of the metal to hedge against inflation, paying nearly $100 for a single ounce of silver, well, that felt completely disconnected from the actual market value of the metal itself. And naturally, this exact dynamic drew some heavy fire. Critics, most notably the publication Behind MLM, argued that because the vast majority of these coin sales were just internal purchases by affiliates trying to maintain their commission eligibility, there wasn't a genuine external retail market for the products. They argued that this lack of outside retail activity functioned essentially as a product-based pyramid scheme, where the money just cycles upward from affiliates who are basically forced to buy overpriced coins month after month.
Let's look at part 3, real customer experiences.
So what were actual customers saying about all this? Well, if you check out the Better Business Bureau reviews, it reveals a deeply polarized community. On one hand, you have these fierce defenders. Some 5-star reviewers praise the lucrative rewards, talking about earning instant gold and all-inclusive trips to Cancun. They love the Sound Money wallet for easy storage and all the various online shopping and healthcare discounts. But, on the flip side, the 1-star complaints paint a starkly different picture. Members felt completely misled by exorbitant premiums, realizing they'd paid 4 to 6 times over the actual resale value of the coins. There were also a bunch of operational complaints about auto ships going to old addresses and strict policies refusing refunds on canceled accounts.
To put that into perspective, get this. One disgruntled BBP customer actually calculated they lost over $1,600 on a $2,000 investment. They had been on a $200 a week auto ship program receiving 10 silver coins. When they finally went to liquidate them, they discovered the actual secondary market value of those coins was only about $25 to $30 each. Ouch. Now, 7K's response to this is always that the coins are exclusive, limited edition, MS70 graded collectibles, and that members set their own lower prices on secondary selling platforms. But for the buyer who was expecting raw metal value, it was a massive rude awakening.
Which brings us to part 4, the 2026 affiliate pivot.
In March 2026, boom, everything suddenly changed. That binary multi-level compensation structure was entirely scrapped for thousands of members. We actually found a fascinating explanation for this from a 7K affiliate named Dave Gardner. He noted that soaring macroeconomic prices for gold and silver heavily squeezed the company's margins. Think about it. When a lot of people joined 7K Metals, gold was under $4,000. By early 2026, it had spiked to $5,000. Silver saw similar massive jumps. As the baseline cost of the raw metals skyrocketed, 7K had to raise the prices of their auto-ship collectibles. Gardner pointed out that this caused buying habits to just dwindle. People simply couldn't afford, or just wouldn't justify, the new higher monthly auto-ship costs. And that fundamentally broke the sustainability of the entire MLM model.
Corporate leadership, as you might expect, presented this pivot in a slightly different light. In their official press release, CEO Blake Davis framed the termination of the binary MLM structure as an evolution. He stated they were removing legacy complications and replacing them with a framework more aligned with the global marketplace, really emphasizing direct retail and a simpler affiliate-driven model focused on product education.
But you know, the reality on the ground for the actual distributors was incredibly disruptive. For affiliates who had spent years, and in some cases thousands and thousands of dollars, building these deep downlines in a binary structure, this abrupt shift to a single-tier affiliate model was devastating. Under the new model, affiliates might only earn a flat 10% commission on direct sales, completely losing the residual volume from a massive team beneath them. As Dave Gardner so bluntly put it, for many, it felt like a classic rug pull.
Finally, Part 5. Final verdict and next steps.
Okay, so what does this all actually mean for you and your potential investments moving forward? Let's distill this down. These key takeaways really highlight a company that was ultimately forced to adapt to harsh market realities. 7K Metals has officially left the MLM space, shifting to a direct one-tier affiliate system. This was largely driven by macroeconomic price spikes in gold and silver that made their high-premium, graded coin auto-ship model totally unsustainable for the average member. Moving forward, anyone looking to invest needs to clearly understand the difference between standard bullion and graded collectibles, and carefully weigh those premiums before you ever hit buy.
Which leads us to a highly practical next step for you. If you are looking to secure your retirement with precious metals, but you want to do it without the stress of overpriced collectibles, unpredictable auto ships, or, multi-level marketing drama, there are much more stable vehicles available. Make sure to check the description below right now for a link to a completely free Gold IRA guide. It is an absolutely stellar resource for learning how to hold pure, standard bullion directly in a tax-advantaged retirement account.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought to help guide your own financial research. When it comes to hedging against inflation and really protecting your wealth, where does true value lie for you? Are you a collector who values the flawless grade and rarity of an MS-70 coin? Or are you an investor who just wants the raw, unadulterated weight of standard gold and silver bullion? Understanding your own goal is always the very first step to making a smart investment. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.